Hello. Once upon a time, there was a boy who thought a bit differently than everyone else. He saw the world through a different lens and struggled with reading and writing. So the public school system placed him in special education to help him keep up with individuals his own age. Life wasn't always easy being different from everyone else. He was treated one way when he talked to his peers face to face, and another once he turned his back. The tunes would quickly change from kind to cruel. After noticing that people aren't always as they seem on the surface, he had difficulty reaching out to others and cherishing his friends because he didn't know who he could trust. He was lonely and anxious because if he had been wrong about who his real friends were, what else was he wrong about? However, this is not just another sad story of a kid with Asperger's and dyslexia who suffered throughout public school. The story was in fact me when I was younger. This story was my daily life at public school, just numbly going through the motions, always being suspicious of my friends and peers, and wondering if I was being made fun of behind my back for being different and slow. Until one day, I recognized this kind of schooling in life wasn't for me. So I needed a different environment than those at public schools or many private schools. So me and my parents went and looked for alternative schools, and one of the alternative schools we found was called Acton. Acton was a perfect fit for me. I've been at this Acton for the past 4 years now, and it's changed my life for the better. I learned a bunch of communication skills to help with my Asperger's, and I worked at my own pace on reading and writing. I've even tested it in the top 96% of people overall in reading and science. I'm also in the top 91% overall. If I had not gone to Acton, I would not be standing where I am now, talking to you guys today. I would have been too nervous and scared to present anything like this prior to attending this school. So why am I standing here, changed and confident? It's because I have a dream and actions to attain my dream. With the skills I've learned at Acton, I plan to change the world through rigorous research on how human patterns negatively impact wildlife and then create mutually beneficial solutions for both human progress and wildlife preservation. It was surprisingly easy for me to come to the conclusion that I wanted to work with animals. Since my childhood, I've consistently been interested in animals and nature. It has always been easier for me to be around animals rather than people because people are complicated creatures. Not that animals aren't. Humans will say they are fine and don't need help, when in fact they aren't okay and want your help. An excellent example of this that has happened multiple times throughout my life is I have asked my sister if she needs help with something, and she would say, I'm okay. But then a few hours later, she would get upset with me because she actually needed my help at the time, but said otherwise. This also happens the other way around, where I ask if she needs help, and when she says no, I'll ask again. And then she'll get annoyed at me for asking again. It's a never-ending tug of war for me to understand the underlying meaning of what people are telling me and what they actually want me to do. On the other hand, animals are easier to understand. When they're hurt or need assistance, they'll tell you through the body language and won't try to hide anything. I want to help them because they have supported me throughout my life. Through all my experiences, I have learned that humans cannot help but have an impact on animals, and that animals also have a remarkable impact on humans as well. Let me illustrate both of these points, starting with the benefits that animals can have for humans. I used to go to a place called Inspiration Ranch, where they did equine therapy, which is where you learn to care for specially trained horses, which you would also ride. I went there because of my own anxiety. The horses helped me control my stress because horses have similar behaviors to humans, such as responsive behaviors. Horses also have the ability to mirror the feelings of the handler or rider. This is because horses have exceptional hearing, can hear a human's heartbeat from 4 feet away. Studies have also shown that humans and horses will synchronize their heart rates together, causing the rider to feel more energized and calm after doing horseback riding and leaving. The rider will also learn how to control their own anxiety by understanding what causes the horse anxiety and how to control it. Equine therapy is just one example of how animals help to make human life better. In addition to helping with anxiety, it has also been shown to help with ADD, ADHD, autism, cerebral palsy, dementia, depression, developmental delays, genetic syndrome such as Down syndrome, PTSD, traumatic brain injuries, behavior issues, abuse issues, and many other mental health problems. Now I'll share an example of how humans' development affects wildlife. I've seen this firsthand concerning the endangered blending turtle. I learned about this during an apprenticeship at the Lake County Forest Preserve in Illinois. While there, I was tasked with tracking and collecting data and measurements on the highly endangered blending turtle. They had me doing this to see how and where the reproducing females traveled during the breeding season, where they were most likely to go, and if any were trapped. One of the things they had found before I got there was that turtles were very susceptible to getting stuck between railroad tracks during the travels between the major ponds. Once trapped, the turtles would die of dehydration because they could not get out from between the tracks. While I was there, they were hypothesizing ways to ensure the turtles would not get trapped. One of the suggestions I heard was putting drainage tunnels underneath the railroad tracks, as you can see in that picture over there, which were found to have the most turtles trying to pass through so that they can go under the track instead of trying to go over them and getting stuck. This is a little bit of what I got to experience while working with the blending turtles. After physically going out and helping wildlife in their natural habitat, I knew that I had found my calling. It was an exhilarating experience for me. I felt energized after a long day of work and couldn't wait for the next day to start and then do it all over again. My path is heading toward a wildlife biologist position. As you can see from these two examples alone, humans and animals have an inseparable connection. Wildlife biologists can help preserve this environment by tracking endangered animals, doing checkups, and gathering data on them to see if they are healthy. Suppose the population is unusually unhealthy or has been dying more often. Once they have discovered the reason why the population is declining, their new job is to try to find ways to fix the problem. Imagine this, a world where human progression doesn't come at the cost of wildlife. In fact, I'm committed to creating a world where wildlife research takes into account the impact it will have on humans as well. To use a familiar example, most people know that cutting down forest for wood is bad for the wildlife. As a civilization, we can't stop using wood entirely because it is used in so many things from houses to paper. Instead of trumpeting the unrealistic suggestion of just not using wood anymore, we should try finding ways to cut down trees that have the smallest effect on wildlife and the environment with the greatest benefit for humans. I am passionate about finding an equilibrium between human progression and environmental welfare. I'm continually amazed by the mutual benefits that humans and wildlife can offer one another. I can get this done because I have been working to learn about and protect animals since I was 5 years old, as a foster family for dogs and cats. Since then, I have spent thousands of hours fostering dogs and cats, did an apprenticeship at the Houston Zoo for 300 hours, volunteered at my local animal rehabilitation center for 90+ hours, cleaning cages, scooping poop, thawing and feeding mice to our birds of prey, watching and helping with whatever animal triage they would allow me to, and cleaning up around the center. I'll bet you are wondering what I plan to do with all the experience I've gained from my apprenticeships and hours of animal care, and that is where it gets really exciting. In preparation for eventual work as a biologist in Alaska, I plan to head to Australia for a 14-week semester abroad program that focuses on rainforest ecology and conservation, climate change, habitat restoration, ecology, and much more. This will be a spectacular experience for me because it will give me hands-on experience conducting a comprehensive field research project that involves developing a research question, collecting and analyzing data, writing a paper, and presenting my findings. This training and experience in conducting a field research project will transfer greatly to my job after college, where I'll be doing the same thing but on my own. In order to make this happen, I'm asking for $26,500 in financial support to attend the semester abroad program in Australia. While there, I will also earn 16 college credits. The $26,500 includes tuition, room and board, daily meals and snacks, airport transfers for arrival and departure, field excursions, cultural activities, and more. With this experience and networking opportunity, I will have an excellent stepping off point after college into the wildlife biology field, where I promise to find ways to fix or mitigate humanity's impact on wildlife with the least impediment to human innovation. I promise to work wholeheartedly during my session abroad program in Australia. I also promise that in my work after college, I will not put the needs of wildlife over the needs and innovations of humans. Many wildlife conservation groups have unrealistic expectations of the sacrifices they ask people to make to preserve the environment. I plan to work on bridging that gap. This is what makes me unique and will help me to have make an even greater impact when it comes to how humans interact with wildlife. Thank you all for coming here today and listening to my NGA talk. I hope you come away from these talks today with a new outlook on life and a little bit more hope in humanity during these challenging times, knowing that these next 11 students you'll hear from today are going to go out and change the world for the better. Thank you so much, and goodbye for now.